Guys, what's going on? Today we're gonna go over my hunting rig behind me, why I pack it the way that I do, what I pack, and then if you stick around to the end, I'll go over the actual mods to like what I've done to the vehicle, whether it's like the lift, the tire on the back, that kind of stuff. You'll see that at the end. So I'll put chapters down below if you wanna skip around, but I probably pack a lot more than most of your average whitetail hunters do, and I'll tell you why. I pack everything in the vehicle that I need to go for a weekend at any point in time. So I've got all my clothes, I've got all my hunting gear, bow, everything like that, everything to get in the stand. And I do that because I hunt a lot of public. I hunt a few different states. Where I'm at, I can hunt Illinois, my home state. I can get up to Wisconsin to extend my season like I am right now. I've got this weekend and then that's it. So I know I get to go a little longer than most people do. And then I also hunt Indiana a little bit. I can really go wherever I want. And the reason I keep it all packed the way that I do is because we all know we've gotten pictures, cell cam pictures, whatever it might be. And if you wanted to leave work, or maybe you get a picture in the morning, especially during November, and you just wanna head out. Maybe you can take a half day, do whatever you want. But I keep everything packed so that I can do that. I can drop whatever I'm doing if I have the ability to do so and be able to hunt whenever I want to. So the truck stays packed like this for really 5 months, from that mid-September timeframe when Wisconsin kicks off to the end of January here. So we'll go side by side because I keep it sort of strategically packed to make it really easy to get to stuff. Everything's easy to access. It's all got its right spot and is packed on a certain side for getting to it quickly. So the reason that I do that too is we all know that guy, or have been that guy, where you show up to the trailhead, whether it be the trailhead if you're out west, or the public parking lot, or wherever it might be, even if you're hunting private. I've got over an hour drive to any spot that I go to here, just because I happen to live in the suburbs. So if I am going anywhere, it's at least an hour drive, usually closer to an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I want to get as much sleep as I can, and I want to be able to pull up, grab my gear, and just start walking. We all know the guy, or have been the guy, that pulls up and you're sitting there for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. By the time that you get all your stuff together, you're worrying about packing it all in the morning, and then you're heading out. So to avoid being that guy, I pack everything the way that I do. I keep it all nice and organized. So we'll go side by side, starting on the driver's side passenger door, and then we'll go to the back and then to the other side. And I'll show you why I pack stuff the way that I do. So let's go to the driver's side. So here on the driver's side, I really keep it very minimal. It's really just my clothes. And then you'll see the Yeti 75 cooler there, which is plenty big enough to carry a deer. With hunting multiple states, I have to be ready to bone stuff out because Illinois doesn't actually allow you to bring like a full body deer across state lines, as well as Wisconsin. You have to double check it because I just bone stuff out when I'm in that county. But I want to say it's 2 counties that you can take a deer, like a full body, because of the spread of CWD. That southwest Wisconsin portion got hit really hard, along with some of the northwest Illinois portion. So you have to bone everything out, and you can't bring any like spinal fluid or brain matter, any of that kind of stuff across state lines. So that's why I keep it in a cooler. It doubles as the gear trunk, if you want to call it that. So all of my clothes from late season to early season are in there. I keep everything in there all season long because I'm forgetful. And like I said, I drive an hour and a half minimum to most of the spots, and I'm probably not alone in saying that. So if I don't have a piece of gear, then an hour and a half drive home and an hour and a half drive back is just not possible. It'd be a hunt ender for sure. And then behind that, I've got an archery target, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Practice a little bit in the midday portion when you're kind of back at the truck. So we'll move to the back now and go over where that's mostly the actual hunting gear itself. All right, so out back here is really the hunting section for me. So once I open this up, I've got ready access to all of my hunting gear, whether it be bow, backpack, boots, that kind of stuff. So the first thing we'll go over is sort of the back here. You'll see in front of me, most people have seen these before, it's a cargo carrier. If you've got an SUV, they're super handy when it comes to loading deer and just bringing them home. You'll notice that I've put some running lights on them out back, and that was added by me and my dad, just because with the tire swing out, I've got an extension on this thing, so it sits pretty far off the rear bumper, And when you're driving at night, especially because that's what we're doing the most, leaving before dark and then getting out after dark. So having it that far off, he was riding behind me a few times and he noticed it's hard to see, especially when it's that far off your bumper. So we put some running lights on there, all in, I think with the lights and the cargo carrier itself, maybe $300 total for the whole thing. You could probably find a lot of them on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff. And I would highly recommend getting one if you've got an SUV. It'll make keeping the inside of it a lot cleaner and then just making it a lot easier on yourself to load it. Especially when I use a sled to drag deer out, it's easier to carry, and you'll see when I show you how I sleep in here, why it makes it a lot faster to sort of convert this thing into how I sleep. If I had a truck bed, I would definitely use a deer cart. It's a lot easier, but the sled for me for now works well, and it fits right into the back end here, so into the cargo carrier with the raised sides. So I can just pull it on up, load it in there, and be off to the races. So the other stuff you'll notice back here, I've got my boots, my backpack loaded up and ready to go, and my saddle on this side. And then I've got the sled with a couple of bins in there. This front bin is all of my miscellaneous hunting items. So your rattling antlers, I got a couple of gallons of water in there to rinse out like a deer after you gutted it. I got some like scent-free spray, I don't know, wipes, random hand warmers, that kind of stuff. And I'll show you a close-up of all that stuff in there. I'm not going to go over it super individually, but you'll be able to see it with that close-up. And then I'll do the same thing. I've got another bin up front that is all of my like overnight stuff. So I keep like toothbrush and contacts and all that kind of stuff in there, along with a couple of peak refuel meals. Always have a tough time saying that. And the like backpacking stove that I use for out west. And it's super nice to have a hot meal, especially if I'm going to stay overnight somewhere. Like I said, I drive pretty far to get places, so having the ability to stay overnight if I want to saves a little bit on gas, and then you get a little more sleep because I'm not having to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours home, and then an hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning. So think about it. If you can find a way to set your vehicle up to sleep in it, a lot of people don't, but it's not the worst thing in the world, and it can save you a lot of time and sleep in the long run, and some money on gas too. Because we all know with the amount of miles that you're probably putting on your truck, car, whatever it might be, gas is not expensive, or gas is not cheap. So if you could save a couple miles on your vehicle, go for it. You'll also notice I've got my bow out right now. Normally it's sitting in the case there, in the Pelican case, but I was just shooting a little bit. The Pelican case is super nice. I can put it on the roof if I want to because it's hard side and it's weatherproof. And we did that when I took this out west. So it just packs up there real easy on the roof rack, and it keeps your bow nice and safe. Won't go too far into that. And then you've got my bino harness and that kind of stuff on the other side of that. And you'll notice I've got the hunting arrows all stored away in there as well. Just some extra ones ready to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the back here. Random little quirky thing, but the Xterra is nice because I can keep a couple of bungee cords in between these top tie-down points, and you can keep some paper towels at the ready. It's always kind of nice to come back, and if you get, I don't know, blow your nose or do something random or you get dirty, it's nice to have ready access to them and have them not be buried away somewhere. So we'll move to the passenger side for the last little bit here, and then I'll go over, for those that are interested, some of the mods that I've done to this thing in a little more detail for you. So this side's really simple. It's just my camera gear. I like to keep it fairly organized that way, where you've got the driver's side is clothes, back side's hunting, and then this side's camera. And it makes it really easy if you got to grab something to know which side you got to go to and just be nice and quick about it. So I keep all my camera gear in this Yeti, the Go box. It keeps everything nice and secure, and in another video I'll go over like all the camera gear that I've got. It's fairly affordable stuff for the most part. Obviously I put a little more money into it than maybe some people would like to, but I also don't have some A7S III that's $3,500 and that kind of stuff. So I'll go over all of that stuff in a separate video later on. But yeah, so this is where I keep camera gear, and then you'll notice I got a sleeping bag, and I've got my sleeping pad all rolled up in the bottom here, and they fit nicely in the wells, and then you've got a pillow over on the side there as well. Yeah, so to finish it out, we'll go over all the mods that I've done to the vehicle for those that are interested, and then I'll send you guys on your way. So for you guys that stuck around and want to hear about the truck itself, it's a 2010 Nissan Xterra. I actually bought it off my dad. It was his old truck. He bought a Tundra, and I bought this off him to get rid of the Jetta. For those that saw that before, I had a bright red Jetta that I put a roof rack on and would haul deer around in that thing. That worked well for 3 years. It saved a lot of money on gas, but ultimately I knew I wanted to step up to something a little better. So when my dad was looking at a new truck, I jumped on the opportunity to buy this. I was able to pay cash for it. It was like 8,000 bucks. It's got 134,000 miles on it right now. I bought it with 105. So I put about 30,000 miles on it this year with driving around all the hunting stuff. But to go over the mods, it's essentially turned into a Pro 4X, but it's an SE model. I think the Pro 4X had a locker. This does not, but everything else about it is basically been converted to a Pro 4X to say. So I'll get behind the camera actually and walk you guys around and show you everything. So let me get behind the camera and I'll run you through it. All right guys, if we start up front here, you can see a couple things right off the bat. We'll go top down. So up top, this is an SE model, so it didn't come with those roof lights. Those are off of a Pro 4X. They were retrofitted. We picked them up on Facebook Marketplace and then tossed them on here. And they're all wired into a switch panel inside. Next thing, if you're coming down, you can see I've got some ditch lights. Those ditch lights are on a ditch light bracket from, I'll link it in the description. I don't remember the website exactly. It's a popular Nissan Xterra, Xterra Frontier Titan upgrade website. So again, those will be linked in the description, but the brackets are nice because they also come with hood struts. So I don't have to use the factory little like hood opener thing. I'm able to actually just like open it, and they're on hydraulic struts, so it opens right up for me and it stays open. Super nice, well worth the $100 upgrade. And then the ditch lights themselves are from Lasfit, I believe is what it is, Lasfit. They're plenty bright, super streamlined, wired up nice and easy, and they were again like probably $100, $120, somewhere in there. Like I said, I don't live out west. I don't spend a ton of time on like backcountry trails and that kind of stuff. So as long as the stuff lights up, I don't need it to. It's not a necessity more than anything, I guess would be what I would say. And then if we keep coming down, I've got a light bar up front. It's a 20-inch light bar. It's a Harbor Freight special. It was $80, and it's been on there for 4 or 5 years since my dad owned the truck. And it's plenty bright enough. If you're riding on country roads at night, like I do quite a bit, then it'll light up the road plenty ahead of you to see deer coming. That kind of thing just keeps you out of some messes. And then I upgraded the fog lights on this to LED fog lights that are quite a bit brighter, and they throw a lot wider than the factory fogs that come on here. And then just a couple random stuff, but you'll see a couple of tow hooks at the bottom that we painted red just to stick out a little bit. Moving around to the side here, the biggest thing that you'll notice on the side is obviously the tire upgrade. So the tires here are Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws. Super nice tire, especially if you're anywhere that snows a lot. For an all-terrain, they handle incredibly well on the road, super quiet, and I haven't slipped in the snow or rain at all. So they grip really well. They're 3 peak rated, which is supposedly is supposed to make them a lot better in the snow, and I can attest to that. They're just under a 33. They're like 32.8 something. So a little bit bigger than stock. To fit those in there, we just put a puck lift in. So you've got, how well you can see that, but it's a rough country 2.5-inch puck lift with a shackle in the back, which rides perfectly fine. I don't do a ton of off-roading. It was more just to fit the bigger tires on there. For your normal trails and your Forest Service roads, it's more than enough. And you'll notice I also upgraded the shocks. So let me see if I can get down there and get a good shot for you. So that's probably the best I could do. You'll see them better in the back, but the shocks are Bilstein 4600s. They're brand new. They were worn out, so I had to replace them. So those are within the last 6 months, brand new, and they work really well. Again, those are straight off the Pro 4X. So that's why I'm saying that this is basically a Pro 4X for all intents and purposes, minus what I believe is a locker that's out back that I do not have. But again, I don't do a whole lot of wheeling or anything like that, so that's not entirely necessary. So if we come around back here, you'll see there is the Bilstein shock. So it's the Bilstein 4600, and then brand new leaf springs. Those were getting real worn out. And then up top, you will notice a roof rack, a roof basket. It's super functional. It's really nice to just throw stuff up there, especially add a little extra cargo space for those trips out west. And then the final thing out back here before we hop inside is the swing out tire carrier. I don't know, I don't think that this tire would fit underneath the truck. My dad had this on there before I bought it, so I don't know if he had to put it on there, but I think you do. I'll link it in the description if I can find the name of it. He'll know the brand. I don't know it off the top of my head. I could probably find it for you. But yeah, it swings out. It's a full swing out tire carrier, and then I've got a high lift jack mounted right next to it. I haven't had to use it yet, but it is nice to have. The final thing, we'll hop inside and I'll show you a couple of the convenience items I added inside to just make this thing a little more user-friendly for being a little outdated with it being a 2010. So hopping in the rig here, the final two things that you'll see that I've done to this are adding a Apple CarPlay screen. I was listening to a couple of podcasts on the way up here. This was like $100 or so on Amazon. I'll link it in the description again, so you guys can get an idea of where it came from. But if you have an older truck, I would highly recommend looking into it. It's just on a suction mount right now, but it comes with a different mount as well. So there's plenty of ways to mount it up, and it just hooks right into a cigarette lighter. So super easy to hook up. You toss in your aux and then a cigarette lighter, and you have wireless Apple CarPlay, which is super nice. Really updates the interior and makes you not necessarily miss some of the creature comforts of if you had like a brand new truck. And then down below here, I've got an aux beam switch panel, again off Amazon. I want to say it was probably in that same $100, $150 price point. And I will link that in the description as well. It makes it super easy to mount up all of the lights on the outside. They're all wired into one box that's under the hood. It's got separate fuses for all those lights and relays, and it makes it where only one cord actually comes through the dash to this versus 3 or 4 different cords to different switches inside. For any of you that have wired stuff up like this before, I promise this makes it much easier to do. And then you can see at the bottom there's still 3 additional things I could wire up if I so chose. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a tour of my hunting rig and just how I have it all set out. For anybody that has any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer anything that you've got for me, whether it be on packing or the truck itself. And I'm going to hold myself to, I'm going to try to upload a full video like this one here once a month this year, and then we're going to try to keep it to once a week for some shorts and that kind of stuff. So I'm putting that out there to hold myself accountable. You guys can too. So look forward to some more videos this year. If you've got ideas or things you want to hear about for future videos, or whether that be shorts or full videos, again, leave that stuff in the comments below and let me know. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.